Hi, this is Sasi from FireLine News sharing with you what's happening around the world. The United States has announced an extra 10% tariff on Canadian imports following a dispute over a provincial advertisement in Canada featuring former US President Ronald Reagan. Canada has described China as a strategic partner, marking a major policy shift amid growing trade tensions with the United States. Foreign Minister Anita Anand said every relationship has challenges but stressed the need for engagement with China. The move comes as Prime Minister Mark Carney pushes to reduce Canada's economic dependence on the US and expand trade across Asia. A US Navy fighter jet and helicopter from the USS Nimitz crashed during routine operations in the South China Sea. All 5 crew members were rescued safely. The Navy has launched an investigation into the case. The United States and China have reached a final deal on the sale of TikTok's US operations. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said President Donald Trump and Xi Jinping will officially seal the agreement on October 30 in Korea. Under the deal, US investors will take majority control of TikTok, addressing Washington's long-standing security concern over its Chinese ownership. A Chinese cargo ship has sunk after colliding with a Singapore-registered vessel near Guangzhou, China. All 23 crew members on the Singapore ship are safe, but 2 sailors from the Chinese vessel are still missing. Singapore's Maritime and Port Authority say it is assisting with the investigation and working closely with Chinese authorities. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio on the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit in Kuala Lumpur. The two discussed bilateral relations, global issues, and the proposed India-US trade agreement, which officials say is very near completion. The meeting comes amid recent strains over US tariffs on Indian goods. Israeli forces shot and killed a 20-year-old Palestinian near Hebrew on Sunday. The Palestinian Health Ministry said he was killed instantly when troops opened fire at the Meteor crossing in the southern occupied West Bank. UN data shows over 300 Palestinians, including 44 minors, have been killed in the West Bank since January. Russia's defense ministry says it destroyed 193 Ukrainian drones overnight, leaving 1 person dead in the Bryansk region. Officials reported 47 drones shot down in Bryansk and 40 near Moscow, most aimed at the capital. The strikes come amidst intensifying drone warfare as Moscow targets Ukrainian infrastructure and Kyiv hits Russian energy sites in response. Jordan's King Abdullah II has warned that his country will not accept ongoing Israeli violations in the occupied West Bank. Opening Parliament's new session in Amman, the king reaffirmed Jordan's strong support for Palestinians and pledged continued aid and medical assistance to Gaza. He also urged to safeguard Jerusalem's Muslim and Christian holy sites, describing Jordan's stand as firm and unwavering. Singapore is joining hands with US research institutes to study how nuclear energy can be used safely in the future. The government has also released a paper to answer public questions about safety and the environment. Officials say Singapore is looking at several clean energy options like hydrogen and biomethane to reduce carbon emission and fight climate change. Hurricane Melissa has rapidly grown into a powerful Category 4 storm after forming in the Atlantic late last week. Forecasters warn of deadly floods, landslides, and storm surges up to 13 feet. Caribbean nations are urging residents in low-lying areas to evacuate and stay prepared for severe winds and heavy rains. That's all for now. This is Sasi signing off from FireLine News. Stay tuned for more updates.